Hey guys.
Yeah. So we are looking at a tour of Go.
Hmm.
Our goal is to make her learn Go. Even I don't have experience in Go, but I've heard that it's a easy language to learn and like really useful. So really powerful as well. And our main goal is to learn this language, get a like in understanding of it, and use it to solve the advent of code problems.
Yes.
Okay. So not me, her. Okay.
Yes.
So let's get started, I guess, right?
Okay.
So basically, this can be a file path. So there's a
Hmm.
folder math, there inside rand folder, and inside that there will be files. So
Hmm.
now, what to name the package of all the files which are inside rand? They say whatever the last path is, generally you name it
Hmm.
like that.
ठीक है.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what it said. Now we can just try running. So before you want to run, would you like to guess what this is
Yes.
trying to do?
It says function main और उसके अंदर fmt.println my favorite number is rand.intn 10. सो फर्स्टली प्रिंट होगा एक सेंटेंस जिसमें लिखा होगा माई फेवरेट नंबर इज़, और नंबर की जगह हमारा आएगा rand.int नंबर 10, मतलब 10 लिखा हुआ. सो माई फेवरेट नंबर इज़ 10.
Or Alisha? Let's try. Okay. But 6 आया. Would you like to guess ऐसा क्यों हुआ होगा फिर से like by
इट हैज़ टू डू समथिंग विथ rand.intn और उसके अंदर जो 10 है. सो
hmm,
10 इज़ a parameter which we are passing to
yeah.
intn.
Basically, if you wanted to like probably if you wanted to have what you wanted, so you can just write 10 here, and if you're correct, then it will return. Oh, basically, we are not using it, so it's crying about that. So we can just remove it for now. Okay. Yeah. So my
Yes.
favorite number is 10. But since वो अपने rand use करा था, उसका main था कि this is a function which gives you a number between I think 0 to 10, like including 10 or not including 10, that we can read into the like what this function actually does. So whenever something like this come up, you can just like search for it like math like rand Golang. Okay. So here it comes.
Okay,
है ना, and
generates.
here you can see for int n, right? Yeah. So int n says it should be a non-negative number, and it will return 0 to n. So n is not included.
It is a random number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is generating a random number between 0 to n minus 1.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how we'll know. So that's why 6 came up. And the beauty
Okay.
of this is every time you run it, it
Different
will.
number.
So now it's 5. Now it's 0.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's what it did.
Understood.
Okay, understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the main here, I think their main part they wanted to highlight was how the package thing works. And see, using this package, we got the functionality of random. We didn't have to write it. We just like we were able to use it. So
Right.
printing and getting a random number were the examples here.
Multiple import statements like import fmt, import math, factored import statements.
Yeah.
So हमने पिछले उसमें एक ही import के अंदर दोनों बोल दिए थे, right?
Yes.
And they
ये
are
वही
just
same example है, like, yeah.
okay.
Just this part is
Okay,
so
okay. अलग अलग भी import करके लिख सकते हैं, but
Yeah.
एक के अंदर एक भी एक साथ में रख
एक
सकते
के साथ लिख सकते हैं. Parenthesis मतलब ये अपने
हैं.
इस
So
parenthesis के
factored
अंदर है.
means
हाँ
factored means इकट्ठा.
हाँ. Exported names.
Okay. In Go, a name is exported if it begins with a capital letter. For example, pizza is an exported name, as is pie, which is exported from the math package. Exported name is exported if it is used with capital.
First letter should be capital.
Okay. Pizza and pie do not start with a capital letter.
It's a general concept in like programming languages.
Yeah.
Basically, like when you try to use, basically when you try to write a car, right? There are so many components internally which are working, right? So engines has pistons, there are spark plugs, and like gasket and everything, right?
Hmm.
But you never had to interact with it, right?
Hmm.
You, as a user, you interact with the steering wheel, you interact with the gear shifting thing stick,
Hmm.
right? You interact with doors. So that is something which is exported to the user, and
Hmm.
lot of other things which are internal to the car. So
Hmm.
whenever you try to define a package, it will
Hmm.
need a lot of things to function,
Hmm.
but not all of them need to be known by the user,
Hmm.
right? When they want to use that package.
Right.
So so that's the concept of exporting.
Hmm.
So for example, anything which will now start with a capital letter
Yeah.
is like assumed to be exported
Right.
and can be used by any other file
Hmm.
outside that in package.
गॉट इट.
Okay.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे अभी
Hmm.
पहले वाले में हमने देखा कि स्क्वायर रूट यूज़ हुआ था,
Yes.
बट वी डोंट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि स्क्वायर रूट कैसे कैलकुलेट होता
Exactly.
है.
Maybe
एंड
square root internally uses another function or something, right?
या.
That we will need to use. So that will be small case. So in this case
सो
now.
उसमें हमें अगर पाई प्रिंट कराना है
Hmm.
पाई की वैल्यू, तो हमको पी को कैपिटल कर देना चाहिए.
Yeah. So that's why like you can see it also like if you are like trying to access a different package, then anything after that package has to be capital letter. Otherwise आप उसको access ही नहीं कर पाओगे, right?
Okay. Take a function can take 0 or more arguments. Oh God, it has been such a long time
After yes.
since मैंने argument को अलग context में use किया
yes.
है.
Not like big fighting वाला argument. This is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A function can take 0 or 2 arguments. In this example, add takes 2 parameters of type int. So let me just go through this first. Package main, import fmt, function fnc, add x int, y int,
Hmm.
int return x plus y. ठीक है. Function main, print 42, 13.
Yeah.
Okay. A function can take 0 or more arguments. In this example, add takes 2 parameters of type int. Notice that the type comes after the variable name.
Hmm.
The type comes. Okay. Right. जैसे x के बाद उन्होंने type बताया which is int.
Hmm.
For more about why types look that way, see the article. But ठीक
It's
है,
okay.
अभी हम इतना पढ़ते हैं.
मान लेते हैं कि अच्छी बात है, बाद में लिखना. Okay.
तो फंक्शन
Hmm.
ऐड करना है x और y, तो ये दो इनपुट्स ले रहा है x एंड y, और वो रिटर्न करेगा x प्लस वाई.
So basically, a good way of like learning a language is you try to look at every keyword and try to understand the meaning behind it, why they've added it. Okay. So funk. What do you say कि यहाँ पे funk का क्या काम?
Func is we are defining a function जिसका नाम है add.
That's right. So funk says कि whatever comes after. Basically, you're in the process of defining a new function. Okay. That's the usage of func in this context.
Right.
Add can be anything.
Function name.
It's the name of the function. Now, if you use a last concept, exported names, it starts with a small a.
Yes.
So basically, it won't be used anywhere outside this package. Right? If you started with capital A, then you mean to say you can access it from somewhere outside as well.
Okay.
Okay. If some other like file is importing this and.
So if I make this a, so does it mean कि it can my function capital ADD can now be used in some other file?
Yeah. But
Okay.
this will fail, right?
Right.
part.
This yeah.
This has to be also capital
Right.
A. Okay. Yeah. But you're right. If you want to make it like usable outside, you have to name it with a capital letter. Okay.
Right.
So this can be anything. So okay.
So
But I
we are
think general rules apply that it should be alphanumeric but cannot start with a number, things like that. Okay. So you cannot name it like one add, but you can name it add one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So number should not be. I think it should not start with number. Underscores and all these things will come. So okay, that we got it. Next is this. Whenever parenthesis comes,
Definition.
whenever this parenthesis comes, right, I try to look at it in a pair, like in a pair. So try to highlight everything, understand everything which is in between the pair. So parenthesis is trying to tell us like a list of things in this case,
Yeah.
right? So we can look at individually
Open
कि क्या है.
bracket.
X and int. right? So x is the name of the parameter,
Yes.
int is the type, comma means there are more parameters coming in, y is another thing. Okay, so we are trying to basically understand why each and everything is being used. So in this case, comma has to be there to say more than one parameters are needed.
Okay.
So if you want to define more parameters, separate them with comma.
Okay.
Okay, what about this end?
This is, so we have defined what the function needs
Hmm.
and what is it called, but it is now telling what will it return.
Correct. Okay, so it will return int. In this case, it just says that it will return something which is of type integer. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
And since we don't care about what the return value is called, so there is no like user defined name here. It's just a type.
Okay.
Okay. Apart from that, there is parenthesis, which is the
So-
actual coding part.
यहाँ पे ये जो return है इसके अलावा
Hmm.
what else could we have mentioned? Like just a number, right? Like even I can just say कि 10, 20.
Hmm.
तो फिर ये हमेशा add irrespective of what the input is, it will always give me 20, correct?
No, like in this case, because you are not using the return statement, nothing is being returned, right? So, but if you return, add return 20, this function will always return 20. It will actually entirely ignoring x and y.
Yeah.
So here you can try one thing, like try executing the code and see, like does it complain x and y is not being used. Okay.
doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't care. Cool.
And if I make this as some other type, then
Yeah.
it might throw error, right?
Yeah. So
But we
another
don't
type,
know.
another type you can try is string. Just type string here.
String.
Yeah, string is a type. It says.
Oh.
Yeah.
अब
Yeah,
मैं
int-
इसको अगर ऐसे कर दूंगी so it will
Yeah.
work.
Okay, like run it.
Yay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So now you understand the type. Okay.
Hmm.
Key what is returning has to match. Cool.
Okay.
So what, and just to like, I know we are spending a lot of time here, but functions are everywhere. So you need to also understand the idea of function. Like visually, you imagine function as like a black box which is taking something, it doing some work for you and returning something. You don't have to actually worry about what's happening inside that block of thing. Like in the whenever you are using it, you will just know like what it does. So basically,
Yeah.
it helps you, like for example some difficult logic, you can abstract it out so it's easier to read. The actual
Right.
place where you're using it becomes much more clean and easy to read and understand. And it also like probably shares the code as well, so you can use that function multiple time at multiple places, right? So you don't have to repeat the code. So these are some of the reasons we would want to use a function at a
Right.
place for readability
Okay.
and for like code sharing, and probably there are some other internal things as well which like they might use. Okay.
Alright. I have a confusion.
Yeah.
So here we have two functions. First is function add, the other is function main.
Yeah.
So function add is इसके बाद we have int, right? So this is like we are defining what kind of output we will get upon using function add. But in the second function we have function main जिसका definition नहीं है, and then we have directly this. So why is this required?
So basically, in second one, we are not returning anything. But if you try to return a string or something, it will fail. And another one is that basically, what I try to imagine is actually like saying nothing. This is also kind of a type. You are sending that this function will not return anything. So basically, you're kind of like putting a restriction of what's the return type. Its return type is nothing.
Okay.
So I try to imagine it as something. So writing nothing is also saying that you're saying something about your function. You are saying something about the contract, that it should not return something. So if you apply that logic and try to run it, I'm assuming it failed.
Okay.
So right, it says that the return type is this, but you are sending this. Okay, so saying nothing is also a return type. So you can imagine it saying this function will not return anything. And another thing is function main is a special function. Basically, it is a function for like the the function that is going to be executed automatically. You can see that we haven't called it anywhere. We haven't written like main or something here, something like that, right? It's being executed automatically when we like try to run this entire file.
Right.
This is the only function which will be executed. So if you want
Okay.
to call add, you have to actually run it inside this. This is the
Right.
entry point. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Functions continued. When two or more consecutive named function parameters share a type, you can omit the type from all but the last. For example, xint, yint to x, yint.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's just like a syntactic sugar.
Right.
It will already assume that like you have to pick it the same, like you know.
Hmm.
So it's just a convenience. That's it.
Right.
Okay. So this is interesting.
A function can return any number of results.
Okay. So
Swap
if you are
function.
familiar with a language like C, C++, ideally they return only one thing, right? But that one thing could be a collection of multiple things. But when you talk in terms of the language, you're always returning one thing.
Right.
Okay. But in this language, it's possible to return multiple things. So your function can return, like it can take multiple things, then it can return multiple things. Okay. So
Got it.
got it, right? So here you can see that earlier we have been using single variable equals to something, right? But here we have used like multiple variables. So y will go into A, x will go into B. So order matters basically.
One
Okay.
second.
And if I like write something like here, for example 10, then what changes I need to do to make the program run? You tell me, like.
First, can I understand the function?
Yeah. Before that, reset.
Okay. So function swap x comma y string, that means both x and y are strings. Then we are returning something जिसका type होगा string and string. So we are just swapping the two strings y and x. And here we are calling the function main a comma b is swap hello world. So here the outcome will be world comma hello.
Yeah.
Right.
So run.
World hello. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So how did it work? Since we received x comma y, order
Yeah.
was x then y, and we did y comma x, order is y then x.
Yes.
So kind of we swapped it, right?
Yeah.
So here you can then say ki whatever the first thing you're sending will go into B, and the last thing will go into A. Okay, that's how the swapping
Okay.
mechanism is working. Okay?
Yeah.
So this return order, the things will go in this order only.
Correct.
Okay, so now my problem was to understand this thing entirely and function as well. I am trying to return an integer,
Right.
1 0. So and I want to print it here. So okay, I
Okay.
want to create another variable and then print it after hello world hello. So
Okay.
just fix this program now, because right now we run it, it won't work.
Okay. We want to print world hello 10, is it?
Yeah, and 10 is coming from here.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about adding another parameter. Okay, because 10 is hard coded like we did, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's always going to return 10. Like correct. This will give you the output that I asked for. Okay, like completeness के लिए run भी कर लेते हैं. Okay, but yeah, like I said, we did some hiccup there. Okay, so if I remove my thing here, it will like give the output that I was asking for. But I want this number coming from here. Basically 10. I wrote the 10 for you. You're not allowed to write 10 anymore.
Okay.
Okay, now do this. 10. Write anything, just don't write 10. Okay? 10 is already added. I've added it. If you want, like, so as like programmers, what we try to do, instead of like solving it in our mind, we don't think too much. We just execute the code and try to fix all the errors that are coming.
Okay. So basically it is saying that what we have is a string and a number, but what it is expecting is a string and string.
Yeah.
This means that here we are going to put a comma and write int.
Perfect. So try. अब करते हैं करने का. Run. So you have to kill and then run again if it's like on either. Okay.
Now it says assignment mismatch, two variables, but swap returns three values.
And you can also look at this part, like the 10:10. So this says error is it on line number 10 and column is 10 also. So you go 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 6, which 10. Okay, exactly.
So we have comma C
Yep.
and we have swapped hello and world are the inputs. There are now three variables and swap is returning 2.
Swap is returning.
Swap returns 3 but swap returns 3 values, right? So swap is right, A, B and C. Now I have added a new variable C, but I need to map it to 10.
Yeah. And how that mapping is happening?
Comma 10.
No, I know 10. You cannot write any more 10s.
So it will map जब ये swap return, so ये जब swap call होगा तो हमने इसमें ये डाला है and we'll also add int. No,
No.
that is not needed. I think it should be fine now.
Yeah.
C is declared but not used. Print A, B, comma C.
Okay.
Yay!
So you also learn कि आप ऐसे solve कैसे करते हो problem.
Yes.
Instead of trying to solve everything in your mind, just look at errors, list of errors, try to start from the first error it came and just try solving it. And once you do it enough, you will just see what is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you learn. Since you haven't seen this language before, it's not expected कि आप देख के ही बता दोगे कि oh I have to do this, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have like experience in this language or some other languages,
Yeah.
right? So I think so that's why don't try to do that. Just do this part. Run, understand the error, have a hypothesis, try to test it.
But
That's
did I take a lot of time?
No, but I think your approach was perfect. It doesn't matter how long your time takes. I think
Okay.
the more important was your concepts are clear now. See, I really like the part, the 10 and C part. You were like having some doubts, right? But you corrected, right? You were returning 3 things. We are receiving 3 things. So you were sure that 10 will go into C directly. You don't have to do anything extra,
Yeah.
right? So understanding those things is important. It doesn't
Yes.
matter how much time it takes.